We just took out this center king plank because it was delaminated and the glue had come off, and now we've exposed the plywood underneath the teak, and it's all wet, of course, but then there is the epoxy membrane on top of the aluminum that's in good shape. So I think we're gonna have to take these teak decks off and make our boat shiny white and watertight.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is right. You know we got it.
So, Connie, what have you done to our decks? They used to be teak. However, the water got underneath the plywood and it has made everything get a bit wet and rotten. So, we're taking it off. And we've just finished going all the way around. Connie's doing the next stage of scraping. Captain Jerry is up on the bow, cutting out the remainder of the bow. So I've been working on taking the metal strip off the outboard side of Esperanza. You can see the stock is about 1/4 inch by, well, 3/8 by 3/4 bar that we used to hold in the teak decks. We've removed the teak decks from the aluminum hull, and we got rid of this bar. It is not structural, and it was just going to get in the way of allowing the water to flow off the deck. So I've been working at getting that off, grinding the inside bead and then breaking the outside bead, and then coming back and grinding down the surface smooth. And we've done about 160 feet of that bar. We're 77 overall plus the transom, so about 160 feet, and this is the last few feet to go to the bow. You can see over here past the capstans where we've started to take it down and get it smooth along the deck, getting ready to deal with treating the decks and then getting them all watertight and painting them white. So we've now removed the decks, cut off the bar that went all the way around to hold the teak decks in place, faired it to the original plate, bore out the holes for the screws that were there, countersunk 550 screws, holes. We used Belzona's product 1111 to plug all the holes along the deck. It worked really well. So what's left is to then grind off the remaining epoxy and glue you see from the old deck and deal with any pitting. And then we'll move to International's product Intershield 300V and begin rotating through the bronze and aluminum colored Intershield to build up at least 6 mils of barrier coat. The Intershield from International is a great adhesive and anti-corrosion. The product comes in bronze, and then you follow it up with aluminum colored, and you end in an aluminum color so that you make sure that you have a complete overlapping seal. And then we'll move to the top coats from International with its non-skid. So eventually here, all the fittings will go back with isolation in between them and the aluminum to make sure the two materials, the stainless steel and aluminum, do not react. And we'll have a watertight and shiny white deck for sailing. Super excited. Thank you, Belzona. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, International. A lot of work, but it's going to be worth it. have removed the teak decks off Esperanza. We've worked with Blackline Marine to weld up the holes, and we've also decided to move the winches from down on the main deck that was in the center and put them up on the coach roof there on the aft deck. And so they're going to be relocated. So we re-welded the holes, and we've also done some patching. So wherever we couldn't weld a hole, we used Belzona's product 1111 Super Metal, which is a great product. We're super happy with it. And so if we've had any small pitting or any holes we couldn't get to, we used it right on the aluminum surface. So that's worked very well. Thank you, Belzona. Thank you, Tony. We are also now going to use International product is the next layer. So we're going to sand off the old epoxy that is in green color down to the bare aluminum and make sure it's etched to an anchoring capability of adhering to the new International 300 shield. So today we're going to sand off the old epoxy and get the surface ready for International's product to go on next. So we've got section by section that we're going to work on, and we're going to work on the aft section today.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights.
Suggestion of piles is better.
Mixing up our first batch of Belzona. Yeehaw! Fill those holes.
Hi Dale, tell us what you're doing. I don't think we're going to hear you. He's mixing the International paint.
Hey. So I've been working with the Belzona, treating some small holes and some small pits in this area. Here you can see a portion that is prepped. We're about to etch this with a very coarse 36 grit sandpaper with an orbital sander, and then proceed with the first layer of the International Shield 300V. It's a great product. Comes in a kit that's part A, part B, so it's easy to mix, and it seems to have very good bonding capacity, so we're quite excited about it. So I've been working on the bow. We took off the chain stoppers and the windlasses to prepare the surface in order to prep it with the International Shield 300. So our preparation has taken a while, but the prep is always in the details, and now I think we're ready to put on our first layer of the shield. So very soon we'll epoxy this forward area after I give it another sand with 36 grit sandpaper, 40 grit sandpaper to get it really roughed up. Acetone and roll it.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.